There's no limit. Okay, I mean, I have 250. Anyway, forgive me if I go off on tangents or I talk about other people's issues. That is my brain. This video, this is like my fourth or fifth recording for this. This is an update video for YouTube. Forgive me if I smoke. This is an update video. It's that time. This is an update video for. This is not an update video for anyone else other than YouTube. And this is also part of this is also video for Dr. Carnes, and this is an update video. Not an update video. This is video number 1 for my video diary, because I figured this is easier to do than writing. So, on days when I have, I'm going to talk about my mental state for usually for an everyday me, and then a physical state for when I have my moments of clarity, and for when I have my moments of my episodes. So when I have my attacks or my seizures, I call them episodes. Dr. Carnes has diagnosed me with cognitive functional disorder, cognitive functional neurological disorder with attacks or seizures. I'm going to say attacks and seizures, because the attacks for me are the tremors and the spasms that I'm fighting. The full-on seizures are episodes where I can only respond with noises. The best I can do is maybe 1 or 2 words. And I'm fully aware of it, but I have no control of it. I have the outward impression of a child. And it hurts to say that, because I'm a 35-year-old grown man. And yet at times I'm stuck with word repetition and stuttering. And I can only say 1 or 2 words or express basic emotions. When I have my moments of clarity like now, this is a piece of elastic. I'm trying to find something so you can see it better, because it's black. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. We can use this. When I have my moments of clarity, I noticed about 6 months ago, my spine is stiff and very compressed. So instead of, think of this being, your spine nice and normal. For me, when I'm normal like this, I'm like this. And I'm very stiff. I can't move all that well. And, but I have my mind. I'm here. I have my cognitive faculties. I can formulate words. I can speak full sentences. I can talk to you. I could probably, hold down a job. But these moments of clarity are fleeting. They last maybe a week if I'm lucky. Usually a few days. The worst, a few hours. And then it slowly goes back to normal. And it's usually at this point where I'm not really gone, but I'm not here. I'm very spacey. I have a lot of brain fog. I can only focus on simple tasks. And it doesn't matter if, which I'm embarrassed to say, I will explain how I know this. It doesn't matter if I have my medication or the pot. And I'll explain how those factor in with everything. Then it's the complete opposite. It is full on compression. Like someone put the heaviest weight possible and found a way to put it on my head. The heaviest weight possible without killing me, I should explain. Like if you put an elephant on the top of my head, you're gonna kill me. Heaviest weight possible, pushing down on my head without killing me. It's like someone does this, and then they have it bolted to my shoulders, and everything else, like the way they have it strapped up, it's putting pressure and tension on my spine, compressing it down. And then when it's at its peak, or should I say when it's bottomed out, I'm gone. I'm gone to the world. I'm not here. You could ask me, hey, what do you want for breakfast? And you're lucky if you get maybe a word out. And the sad thing is, I'm fully aware. I'm aware, but I can't do anything. I'm just stuck. Before I was having all of these cognitive issues, I would say around between 12 and 14, I woke up one day and my brain was just flooded with noise. Noise, nonsense, intrusive thoughts, past events of things that happened that, I regretted or I wish went one way and not the other, or just embarrassing moments in my life that I did that, I wish I, did this or didn't. It's nonsense. But my brain is just 24/7, 365 once I wake up, no matter what. That doesn't shut up. The combination of Elavil, gabapentin, and Zoloft. As soon as all three of those kick in at night, complete shutdown. It's like someone emptied out the arena and the only thing that bothers me is my tinnitus. Even somewhat right now because my medication I can still feel it because I had to wake up early today. Usually by the time I wake up, it's starting to wear off. Even right now, it's just my tinnitus. There's a little bit of noise. It's almost like being in a really busy coffee shop. Oh, well, yesterday, oh, yeah. It's that. And it's not people outside. It's not, my neighbors, even though they can be obnoxious at times. That's just how my brain has been. I don't know if it's a sign of schizophrenia or some other more disturbing underlying condition, but it's never been, anything violent or dangerous. I do have one voice. I don't know if it's my subconscious or it's, another version of me who's more grounded in reality and in life, where he guides me, and usually when I hear that voice, it's the right thing to do. Don't use that knife, use this knife for cutting this particular thing. Oh, the when I'm cooking, oh, the sound of bacon changed, flip it. When me and Mandy are out and about, she's not sure which direction she should take, or she asks me for my opinion for what route we should go to get home, so it's not boring and mundane, because we always take the same way to get home, and it's like, oh, well, go this way instead. And that voice will be like, nah, go that way. Oh, no, on second thought, go this way. And then we go that way, and we get home faster, because if we noticed that if we went the other way, there was construction. It's little things like that that I don't worry about that voice too much. He's always, and like I said, I don't know if it's my subconscious or if it's, again, some underlying condition that I need to be worried about. But that's why I want to make this journal and, not only give you guys, my subscribers, an update, but, let my doctor know that, now that I'm in my state of clarity, these are the issues that I don't think I told you about. And then I remembered I did have an incident when I was, I want to say 8 or 9. I was going to bed, and I didn't realize how close I was. And I had jumped in bed, but I smashed the top of my head into my headboard, which was against a wall. So I pretty much headbutted a wall from the top of my head. It did hurt my neck, but it wasn't sore the next day, it didn't hurt or anything. So I never told my mom. And I didn't think of it until you had asked me, any childhood traumas, any traumatic brain injury. And I'm like, at the time, I forgot. And then I'm like, oh, wait, there is that time where I pretty much headbutted a wall. And then in 3rd grade, I don't know if you can see it. I have a dent right here. I think it was 2nd grade, 2nd or 3rd grade. I got frustrated with my teacher and I headbutted her desk. Not the top part of the desk, the front part with the really thin aluminum. I put a dent in it. And I've always had this dent right here in my head ever since. And I got the title of Rhino Boy. Yeah. Later on in life, I realized that was slightly racist. And don't worry, this is my normal session time. I do a half an hour sessions. I will do 1 to 2 puffs in a 15-minute span. This is about 5 milligrams per puff. The whole vial, the whole cart was 125 milligrams. And I've had this for 2 weeks now. And I'm about 3/4 of the way done. So, if I get a vape cart, lasts me, depending on how much pain I'm in, it'll last me about a month, a little longer. If I'm really bad, about 2 weeks. But that's why I didn't think that it was the marijuana causing other issues, because my body tells me when to slow down. My body tells me when to stop. Mainly my lungs. My breathing gets different. Um, and that's, I am asthmatic, so I do have to watch. And I pay attention to my body. My body will tell me, hey, pump the brakes, dude. The worst of it, it will be same thing, half-hour session, 3 times a day. If I do get flour, it's now, ever since that incident, I rarely get anything off of anyone. People that I know grow their own stuff. Now I'll get, stuff from shops. So, this right here, I forgot how much this was. 20%. 20% or 20 milligrams of THCA. So yeah, and then of course, my medication. The thing that I'm not proud of is I wanted to see if it was the combination of the two. So for 2 weeks, I slowly weaned myself off of my antidepressants and I stopped smoking pot altogether. Going from taking them every day to every other day to not taking them at all. And that first day, I was the same. Even after, tapering them down, I was the same. In more pain, very angry, because I didn't have the Elavil quelling that anger. And without the pot in my system to help manage my pain, I was taking more Tylenol and ibuprofen, which I had to cut down on the ibuprofen because of the Crohn's. So my only bit of relief was Tylenol in the morning and Tylenol at night. And then I needed 2 more in the afternoon. So I was taking 6 Tylenol a day. And it was doing nothing. So after a point, I just stopped. I got to the 3rd week of not having anything in my system, and that Monday, I had an episode, and it was bad. It was so bad. My roommate came home and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, no." I was stuttering. I was barely there. I was hanging on by a thread. I was fighting my tremors. I'm fighting them now. I was bad. And she goes, "Did you smoke?" I'm like, "No, I wanted to make sure. And I remember this so bad because I just broke down crying. And she came over and she hugged me and she goes, "You need to take your medicine. You need to smoke. You need some relief. You're miserable." And I'm like, I wanted to make sure. And she goes, "I understand." And Mandy came home from work and she goes, "Baby, what's wrong?" And I told her what I did, and she goes, "Why didn't you tell me? No wonder you've been miserable. No wonder you've been grumpy. No wonder you've been pissed." And the only thing I noticed when she gave me my meds, after she found out, the only thing that changed after that day was my anger subsided again. My anger is back to a 0. I shouldn't say 0, because my anger's never on a scale. I'm either 0 or 100. So yeah, I could say 0. Yeah. I wish I didn't try that experiment, but I needed to make sure because long term uses of marijuana can cause issues. And I did use, sadly, when I did smoke when I was younger, um, 18, 19. And that was before we really knew that you shouldn't smoke until you're in your late 20s, mid to late 20s. So, me and my friends, we didn't know. And it's not like we did it to be cool or anything. My buddy Carlisle, he had arthritis in his knees and he had a bad back at a young age. Um, our buddy Shay was dealing with mental issues. So he used that to help with his depression and with his anger because he was an angry guy too, like me. My buddy Russell, again, when he was younger, I think he was about 12, maybe 13. Um, he was walking to go meet his mom and he heard a pop. And before he knew it, he didn't realize he had gotten shot in the leg. Luckily, it grazed him, but still, traumatic issue, PTSD. Then he had a rough life himself. So it was an escape. But I was about 18 and we were all hanging out. And it's not like we were some, useless bums. We all had jobs. We were all working. Um, we were in relationships. And we were just having a good Friday night. And I sat back and I realized, I'm like, I need to, do more. And at the time, I was like, nah, I'm not vibing with this right now. I need to stop for a little while and figure things out. So, with the grace of me meeting Mandy at first, when we first got together, it was a no smoking policy with her. So, I stopped altogether for almost 10 years. I started smoking again when I was 29, 30. And it really wasn't, it was just on and off. It wasn't like today where I do it medicinally. So, but, Dr. Carnes has diagnosed me with cognitive functional neurological disorder with attacks and or seizures, chronic recurring depression, uh, general anxiety disorder, and PTSD. The PTSD was a surprising diagnosis, but it made sense for me because I try to avoid conflict as much as possible. I want to resolve an issue instead of exacerbating it. And that's because I grew up in conflict. My mom and her siblings, and my dad and his siblings, it was a constant battle. It was fighting, fighting, fighting. And when I say dad, I mean stepdad. I never met my biological father for reasons that I will explain in another video. Me and my dad, and when I say dad, I mean stepdad. Me and my dad, we're like oil and water. We don't mix, but I love my dad. Between him, my mom, my grandmother, my grandfather, and my uncle, I am the man who I am because of them. And I use the term man loosely because I have, for those of you who don't know, I have she should be 15 now. I have a 15-year-old daughter. We never met, and that's because I could never take care of her, and I didn't want to expose her to me and have her want to form some connection, and I can't provide for her. I was never in a position where I could take care of myself, let alone a kid. So she lives with her mom because I knew my ex could take care of her. I knew my ex was going to be an amazing mother. I think part of my depression is because I never met her, and even if I did, even right now, I couldn't do anything for her other than emotional and moral support. Mandy would probably fall in love with her because that's the one thing that kills me is Mandy wants to be a mom so bad, and we got to get our shit together before that happens because I refuse to bring a child in this world, and we end up in a situation where we have to give our child up. We can barely take care of ourselves. A baby, no. That is the most, to me personally, and I forget his first name. I want to say Brady, and I know it's not Brady. Bar none. GFCF, Great Fathers Club. GFC. GFCF? Where the other F come from? GFC. Great Fathers Club. Great Friends Club. Works with everything. I agree with him too. If you are not financially stable, why are you trying to have a baby? That is the weirdest thing. I know, other circumstances happen, but, life happens, but you should do everything in your power to make it to where you don't accidentally bring a child in this world and you can't take care of them. And that's what happened with me and my ex. And you're probably doing the math. I'm 35. We were teenagers. We were kids ourselves. We were babies ourselves. And we thought we knew the world. Oh boy, were we wrong. And the only thing I can say is my ex at the time was not only way more mature than I was, she was way more ready than I was. I think the best decision I ever did was to never get involved in her life. Because at the time, I wasn't getting help for my depression, so I was a very angry, toxic person to be around. And you don't want to pass that off onto a child who's still this malleable ball of clay that you need to mold to be the best into your abilities to make them a decent person. And at the time, even now, to a point, I'm a good guy, but I'm what you would call an anti-hero. So, but yeah, that's my life right now. My brain never wants to shut off. I wake up, have these wonderful moments of euphoria and bliss and happiness, and then it just slowly erodes away as the day goes on. I'm lucky if I have the lovely feeling of grandeur in the morning when I first wake up. I'm lucky if I have that for 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, and then after that, it's gone. That's the physical or the mental aspect. The physical aspect is me constantly fighting the tremors, If I start having full blown spasms, that's, muscle locks up, my muscles lock up, my back's locked up, I'm stuck in a full blown muscle spasm. Um, or if I'm not having the spasms, I'm incoherent. I lose gaps in time. I I'm lucky if I recognize faces. There's times where I can't tell if I'm dreaming or if it's reality. And that's what scares me at times, because last couple of nights I've had dreams and they sucked. The one dream I had, it felt so real that I reached out to go touch something and someone hit my arm, and it really felt like someone hit my arm. Like, I woke up and I grabbed my arm and I'm like, what the hell was that? You know, it, yeah. And I thought Mandy had hit me in my sleep, but she was rolled over facing the opposite direction, so there's no way for her to hit me. I'm like, oh man, that happened in my dream. Like, I was expecting to have a bruise or something. I'm like, okay, make the house haunted or something. You know, I got some sort of weird demonic possession. We'll deal with that. I don't want my dreams attacking me now. Like, come on now. Leave me alone, Mr. Sandman. So, yeah. I, pardon the French, I'm a clusterfuck right now. But like I told you guys a while ago when I did last couple of recordings on the phone, if I'm cognitively aware and I'm having a good day, I'm going to record for you guys. I'm going to update you guys. I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. If there's any way for you guys to help me out, help me find a job where someone's willing to work with me. I have CAD skills. I'm a CAD technician by trade. I know how to use AutoCAD. I know how to use Rivet. Sit me in front of Rhino. I'll give me 45 minutes to an hour and I'll figure out how Rhino works. I've used, what's the 3D modeling program? Oh, why can't I think of it? I can't think of it. Everyone uses it. They use it for everything. Anyway, if I remember it, it'll pop up on the screen. But I've dabbled with that. So if anyone has any ideas, because with the rent going up and me being in the state that I'm in, I'm going to be job hopping, and that's not going to help Mandy. $300 here, $200 here, $500. That's just nothing. I'm going to be job hopping, and I need someone who's going to be willing to work with me so that I can contribute to society, but also support and provide for my family and get us to the point where we're financially stable so that I can give her that one dream that she still wants. She still wants to have kids. And I want us to start a family. I want us to have a family. It's bad enough that because of my medical issues, I don't foresee us getting married in the future because her medical through work sucks. And my medicals through state, I don't know if they'll put her on mine because she makes too much. We're in this fucked up limbo, catch-22 of, well, she makes too much for us to get state help, but she doesn't make enough for us to, at times, support ourselves. And another thing added to the plate that drives me insane. I just don't. It hurts. And I don't want to go online and e-beg and ask people to donate to my Patreon or, hey, can you, throw a couple bucks through PayPal or start a GoFundMe. I'm not that desperate yet. If I get that desperate, then I will suck it up and start hopping between McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King and all the fast food restaurants until I get a manager who goes, hey, you can work with me. I got you. You know, I had that one boss who was willing to work with me. And sorry to put you on blast, but his name's Johnny. Him and his son and all of my, family members and coworkers at my old job. 6 years, man. That was a blast. It was hard at times and it sucked a lot. But it was a blast because it was the people that I worked with that made it worthwhile. I went from working a job, making $12 an hour, getting laid off, doing what I went to school for, doing what I loved, to $8 an hour over the course of 6 years, asking for a raise, never getting one, just told to work more, even though the owner knew my situation, didn't care. I want you to work more. I give you an inch, you want a mile. It was fun. And that's what I always told people. Anyone asks me, how much do you make? $8. Why? Why are you here? Go somewhere else. I'm like, I love it here. I'm having fun. I'm physically moving my body. I'm getting my exercise in. It was physically demanding work. It was easy work. But it was physically demanding, and at times it was taxing and dragging. But it was what it was. And that's how work should be. And it would have been better if we had a better owner who would listen to us and say, hey, you got to spend some money to make some money. Get us better equipment. I can build you a house with Fisher-Price tools. Don't complain about the quality of work. Because I told you, I can build you a house. You just got to provide the tools. You give me a set of Fisher-Price tools. Sorry, Chief. I have a plastic saw. Cuts are going to be rough. Things might not be kind of square. You're going to be a crooked old man in a crooked old house. So, yeah. That's my life right now. My brain is utter chaos and at the best of times and nothing at the worst of times. So, I'm trying to figure it out. And my next step is therapy. Worst case scenario right now, I have to pursue Section 8 and see how that goes. Which I have a feeling they're going to go, well, your wife makes too much money. You guys should be $800 for rent. That's our paycheck. I don't know how people are doing it with $2,000. Like, what? I'd rather have a mortgage. $2,000 for rent. 21. Like, the worst I've ever seen was like $3,000-$4,000 for rent. Who has that kind of money a month? You have nothing then. You have a storage unit that you sleep at and you live at work. Like, that's the only way that's going to work. Or you have the best fucking job in the world and you got money to burn. Because I'm sorry, at $2,000, that's ridiculous. Like, I know we were spoiled for a while having our rent at $600 because, people would die for $600. That's like back in the day when I was first looking for an apartment for myself, and I'm looking at studio apartments that are $250, $300, $400 a month, and I'm like, I can do that. Oh yeah, and everyone's like, you're gonna be fat because you're gonna be living off of fast food and ramen. I'm like, I'm young. Exercise is king. We'll see if it works. That never happened because of reasons. That'll be another video. But anyway. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, I am signing off. thank you so much for tuning in if you did. I know I prattled on for a while, but I wanted to give you guys a general update as to what's going on. So that's my diagnosis, and next step is therapy and some kind of financial help for right now until I get back on my feet. Hopefully with the intermittent videos that I'm going to be throwing out for you guys, that pops off, and because we gained another subscriber. Forgive me, I forgot to look up your name. I should have did that beforehand. But anyway, hindsight is 2020. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try and get the ball rolling and upload a little bit more. I might record after this, see how I feel. So yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Michael Gardner, aka Blue Fox 22. As always, stay safe, stay as healthy as humanly possible, and above all, stay foxy. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, have yourselves a wonderful day and or night whenever you decide to watch this. Bye bye.